Now on CoastTV News.
Moratorium mix-up. Ocean City Council considers pushing the pause on short-term rental licenses. A high-speed car chase, what led to the chase, and arrest in Harbison.
And it's been a breezy morning with gusts upwards of 30 miles an hour. Those winds are going to continue to howl through the afternoon. I'm tracking a brief taste of 70-degree temperatures before another cool down.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Ocean City's government is moving closer to keeping short-term rentals in check. The Ocean City Council will have its first reading of an ordinance that extends the town's current short-term rental moratorium until 2027. Back in January, council members enacted an 11-month pause on handing out licenses for short-term rentals in residential neighborhoods and mobile home areas, banning any new licenses from being issued until January 3rd of 2026. The council now wants to extend that moratorium by a full year, a move not sitting well with some people we spoke to.
Never should have been a moratorium. The facts never called for a moratorium. There are very few problems that exist, and we should work on fixing those. There's bigger problems in this town.
Miller was a leading voice in the recent referendum that reversed the town's short-term rental restrictions. Those rules would have required a minimum 5-night stay starting in 2025, 31 nights by 2027, and would have applied to all residential and mobile home areas. Mayor Rick Meehan has defamed these types of restrictions, saying they help preserve the character of Ocean City's neighborhood and protect homeowners from excessive rental activity. Council meets tonight at 6. It was just last week the issue of short-term rentals came up in Lewis. It ties into the city's policy on accessory dwelling units, or ADUs. The city says there are several existing ADUs that are being used as short-term rentals. According to the city, those people are breaking the rules because the code states that the property owner must live in one of the units. And this summer in Milton, the town council passed an ordinance defining short-term rentals like an Airbnb as a residential dwelling unit that is rented for 30 consecutive days or fewer. And we're now going to take a live look into Rehoboth Beach, a nice look there, and we're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. Good morning, Chris.
Hey there, Brandon. It's been a windy morning out there. We've had blue skies. The cold front pushed through actually overnight, and we had some showers in the early morning hours. We're holding at 70. We're seeing temperatures right now around 60 degrees in Lewis. Dew point around 46. You can see dry conditions. Most of the rain has lifted up into New England. Here's the cold front well off the coast as this system wraps up and high pressure builds into the area. We did have some peak wind gusts overnight, 45 miles an hour in Dover. We had a peak wind gust of 39 in Georgetown. You can see winds right now 30 in Salisbury, 24 Georgetown, and 33 in Indian River Inlet. So it's going to be a mostly sunny afternoon, but a windy one at that. Winds out of the west sustained anywhere between about 15 to 20 with those gusts as high as 35 miles an hour. So plenty of sunshine today, a gorgeous start to the week. And we're going to be a bit milder into our Tuesday with temperatures getting back into the low 70s before another front moves in. That front will produce another chance of showers, but that doesn't come till overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday. We'll talk more about that and my full 7-day forecast a little later on in the newscast. Brandon.
Take a look at your screen right now. Georgetown Fire Company says this crash happened this morning at the intersection of Route 113 and Route 9 in Georgetown. After initially responding for someone trapped in a car, Georgetown Fire Company later determined that there was no entrapment. In the fire company's Facebook post about the crash, no injuries were mentioned. In South Bethany later today, we should learn more about the town's canal situation. In May, South Bethany looked into a pilot program to address algae in canals. The program would add a product into the water to reduce levels in the town's Canal Water Quality Committee, and that meeting is later this morning to review water data and the final draft of a state of the canal report. A 36-year-old Harbison man is facing 4 weapon and drug-related felony charges following a car chase. Troopers say they were dispatched Saturday afternoon to a business complex in Harbison for a man who seemed under the influence or medically ill. Delaware State Police say when they approached Ryan Denecker, he drove away erratically and continued to do so for several miles and on several roads. Troopers say they finally caught up with him after using stop sticks on Gravel Hill Road, at which point they say Denecker got out of the car with a pepper ball gun, but he dropped that pepper ball gun on command. He was later committed to the Sussex Correctional Institution on a $24,000 secured bond. We have another drug-related arrest to tell you about. This one involves a 58-year-old Millsboro man. According to the police, the man, John Bender, was dealing drugs from his house. Troopers say they saw them dealing at a home on Captain's Way, and after a months-long investigation, Bender was arrested and found with meth. The Cape Penelope School District continues to await an answer from the state government on its certificate for necessity. The big request is expanding the high school in Lewis. You may remember last year the district put forth referendums for new work to help meet the needs of a growing enrollment. The referendums were rejected by voters. Cape's new superintendent says the expansion goals are still there, but paying for it is likely several years away.
They're saying right now there's not money in the queue for capital projects for fiscal year 26 or 27. So we put in the CN just to keep our spot in the line, because what we're afraid of is if we take it out, then other districts will pop in and it'll put us to the end of the line when it comes to funding and when we can afford it as a state to start approving capital projects again.
And you can hear more on Newman's approach to the district and her views on Delaware's educational ranking during an interview with her tonight on CoastTV News at 6. And tonight on DSN at 8 p.m., it's the 2025 Governor's Challenge Selection Show. At 10:30, that's the final score. The main game on DSN Plus at 8 p.m., it's 4 p.m., Delmarva Christian at Delmar, that's boys soccer. At 5 p.m., the Bayside Championship game for girls soccer. 5:30, St. George's Tech at Brandywine at girls volleyball. And at 6:45, rounding it up in boys soccer, it's a Bayside Championship game.
Well, bright blue skies into Cambridge. We're seeing temperatures there right around 61 degrees, mostly sunny, breezy afternoon with highs reaching the mid-60s. Robin West, Frankfort, Delaware, you're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella. We will talk about some even cooler temperatures in that 7-day forecast here in minutes.
Coming up after the break here on Coast TV News Midday, a proposed bonfire ban in Lewis, the letter being reviewed by city officials today. Happening today in Lewis, they're weighing new beach rules, and a longtime condo owner wants bonfires off the list. Parks and Recreation Commission in Lewis will review a letter urging a ban on beach bonfires, citing smoke, health risk, and environmental concerns like hot coals being dumped near the bay. At that same meeting tonight at 5, the Parks and Recreation Commission will review and potentially take action on a proposed aircraft ordinance. The proposed ordinance would prohibit the takeoff, landing, or launching of an aircraft on the beach between the Roosevelt Inlet and the ferry. The ordinance says aircrafts includes planes, helicopters, ultralight aircraft, and any other machine capable of flight, which presumably means drones. If approved as is, the ban would include exceptions for emergencies for the National Guard and more. And coming up next, Chris Mastrobono is in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. And after the break, he has your full forecast.
Well, the front that pushed through overnight had a bit more bark than bite, if you will. We had a few light showers, some gusty winds across the area, and you could see that front producing some pretty heavy rain coming in off the Atlantic into New England. And this area of low pressure wrapping up and pushing into Canada, and you can see that pressure gradient between that low and this high building in is producing some pretty strong winds across the area this morning. But this high is eventually going to slide to our southeast and open up a door for more southwest winds as we go into the day tomorrow. But a gorgeous morning here, Rehoboth Beach, walking the boards, but a bit nippy in the air, bit nip in the air, I should say. 61 right there in Rehoboth, and you can see temperatures right now are in the lower 60s. We're at 62 Milton, 60 in Harrington, and we're at 61 in Seaford with those winds. 34-mile-an-hour gusts there, Indian River Inlet, 26 Millsboro, and we're at 30 there in Salisbury. Now we have a coastal flood advisory continuing for a couple more hours here. We've had some back bay flooding issues through high tide cycles over the weekend with those strong winds coming out of the south and southwest. Small craft advisories up through about 2 a.m. Tuesday for the Delaware coast, and the small craft advisory for southern Delmarva and the Bay runs through dinner time this evening. Highs today 64 Lewis, 66 in Georgetown, 66 Easton, generally mid 60s this afternoon, 66 in Salisbury. So we're going to stay clear and dry but windy through the evening and overnight. In fact, winds will relax a bit into the overnight hours, and we're going to fall into the lower 40s, so a chillier start to our Tuesday, and then we'll note southwest winds returning for the day on Tuesday, and we're going to warm up back into the 70s. So you see those winds gusting 30 miles an hour through the afternoon. Millsboro 28 in Bethany Beach. They'll relax a bit overnight, but we'll see more of a shift out of the southwest ahead of another cold front that will bring us another chance for showers late Tuesday through Wednesday. So average high 68. We're going to be up to 72 into Tuesday. Quickly drop back into the 60s Wednesday, and then low 60s by the end of the week, all thanks to that cold front that will bring a chance of showers. And high pressure is going to be building in late week, and it's going to feel nice and cool, maybe a touch of frost there come Friday morning with calm winds and clear skies. The good news is we stay dry through the end of the week. A few clouds roll in over the weekend, and we're going to stay pretty dry, it looks like, through the weekend. Then it's early next week, we'll see an unsettled weather pattern develop. You see the 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook, slightly wetter than normal conditions developing across the mid-Atlantic and northeast. 66 for your Monday, breezy conditions under mostly sunny skies, 43 overnight, so a chilly start to our Tuesday, but we warm up pretty nicely. It's still on the breezy side with gusts upwards of 30 miles an hour. The good news is the rain holds off until we're all sleeping. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, it's a brief shot of showers because it's out of here by daybreak Wednesday, 67, and then we cool off pretty nicely. Lower 60s to round out the week, and we stay dry right through the weekend. Brandon.
Thank you, Chris. Looking good on the weekend. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you had a great weekend, but we got to get through that Monday, and we can do it together. If you join us today at 4 on Coast Life, we're going to be chatting with our friends at Custom Fit 360. I know this is where the time of year that doing your workout routine gets difficult. They've got some ways to keep you at it. Plus, we've got our joke jar. Today, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We'll take you behind the scenes for some of our bloopers and jokes that happen on set here of Coast Life. And if you're an outdoors enthusiast, you've been ready to take to the road in an RV, you don't want to miss the Ocean City RV Show. All of that and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Gas prices are inching lower. AAA says the current national average price for a gallon of regular gasoline could reach the $3 mark for the first time in 4 years. In the past week, the average has dropped more than 5 cents a gallon to $3.05. AAA is reporting the average price in Delaware is $2.92. It is about 2 cents higher here in Sussex County. Maryland's average is $3 a gallon, with the lower shoreline counties just below that price. President Donald Trump signed a proclamation paving the way for higher tariffs on imported trucks, buses, and the parts that make them. It's a move that the White House says is aimed at protecting U.S. manufacturing. Beginning November 1st, the tariff rate for medium and heavy-duty trucks and truck parts will jump to 25%, while buses, including school and public transit models, will face a 10% rate. Coming up, Instagram's new safety feature, a feature to protect children as concern around AI chatbots grow. Instagram is rolling out new safety features for teenagers who use AI chatbots on the platform. The move comes amid growing concern over the impacts those chatbots have on teenagers' mental health. The new features would allow parents to block their teens from having conversations with certain AI characters and send parents chat summaries. Instagram would also restrict chatbot conversations on issues such as self-harm, eating disorders, and sexual topics.
Well, it's a bright and breezy day on Delmarva as we take a live look into Laurel. 61 degrees there, winds out of the west, 14 miles an hour. Wall-to-wall sunshine through the afternoon with highs topping out in the mid-60s. And as always, you can get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. We'll have a look at your 10-day forecast right after the break. Well, the sun is shining out there this Monday morning, and the sun will continue to shine, only we're not going to be as mild as where we were yesterday, all thanks to a cold front that pushed through overnight. Temperatures only getting into the mid-60s, but it will be quite breezy with a west wind gusting as high as 35 miles an hour. Now, we'll make a brief cameo of the 70s for Tuesday ahead of another cold front that moves in Tuesday night through Wednesday. That front will bring another chance of showers, primarily in the overnight hours of Tuesday into early Wednesday. It's out of here by daybreak Wednesday, 67 degrees, a breezy day, and then lower 60s for highs both through Thursday and Saturday. And we're looking at temperatures rising back into the mid-60s, and then another chance of rain rolls into the early part of next week.
Thank you, Chris. Looking good for Sea Witch on Saturday. Thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us later this afternoon for Coast TV News at 5. Have a great day.